This unfortunate elephant required surgery because of severe injuries. The following scene was heart-wrenching. While there are many wonderful creatures in the wild, the elephant has to rank among the most well-known and cherished. It's difficult not to love these amazing animals given their enormous size, cute large ears, and inquisitive trunks. However, have you ever considered what may occur if these exquisite creatures misplaced their distinctive trunk? Well, to find out more, stay watching. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. The folks connected in this tale are in tears because of something amazing that happened in the wilds of Africa earlier this year. In Africa, a native ranger was on patrol over the plains of a wild wildlife reserve. The man enjoyed his odd profession since it allowed him to spend most of his days outside in the breathtaking scenery of the reserve. Additionally, he had the opportunity to witness amazing wild creatures that some people would never get to see. While on patrol, he witnessed an incredible sight. The man had traveled to a nearby watering hole that was well known to be frequented by a variety of wildlife. The man could see a big herd of elephants close to the water as he got closer. The man pulled over, astonished by what he saw, and opted to spend some time observing the creatures. In addition to making sure the animals were safe and not under any stress, he wanted to view them in their natural habitat. But when the man peered through his binoculars, he saw something really unsettling about one of the elephants. The juvenile elephant appeared to be wounded, having only recently emerged from its womb. The guy could see that something was obviously amiss with the creature's trunk as he fixed his attention on the little animal. It was quite concerning that something appeared to be wrapped around it, and pretty tightly at that. An amazing evolutionary adaptation of the nose is the elephant trunk. This long nose has over 40,000 muscles, or about 60 times more than the total human body, and may reach a length of 6 to 8 feet, or 1.8 to 2.4 meters. Elephants can smell, breathe, trumpet, and drink with their trunks. But what's most amazing about them is that they can also hold objects with them. This is due to the fact that the end of the trunk has two finger-like structures that are dexterous enough to pick up objects like balls and twigs. Therefore, losing the ability to utilize one's trunk is the worst thing that can happen to an elephant, and it almost invariably indicates that the animal will eventually perish. Upon verifying that the juvenile elephant's trunk was really injured, the ranger proceeded to summon assistance from other rangers and a handful of emergency veterinarians. When they were all set, they devised a strategy to attempt to assist the young elephant. They had to take it out of its herd first. Given that mother elephants and the rest of the herd are fiercely protective of their young and have a history of acting aggressively toward anybody or anything they believe to be a threat, this endeavor was exceedingly perilous. A handful of the rangers moved the rest of the herd away from the young elephant so they could have some privacy. After finishing this, one of the rangers shot the infant with a tranquilizer dart. The juvenile elephant needed to be calmed down enough for the rangers and veterinarians to approach it without hurting it, so they applied a minimal quantity of sedative to prevent it from passing out just yet. But as they got up close to the animal, they were overcome with emotion by the severity of the wound. The newborn elephant's trunk had a piece of wire wrapped around it, which the rescuers discovered when they were able to have a good look at it. The worst thing, though, was that it was obviously there for a while because of how tightly it had compressed the trunk. It appeared as though it had almost cut through it. The sight of what they had seen had shocked every individual who had come. How could such a remarkable creature suffer anything like this? As it happened, the wire was a component of a trap that hunters had put up to capture deer and wild boar. Typically, this kind of trap involves stringing wire between two trees, which should theoretically capture deer and wild boar around their chests and legs. Regretfully, the juvenile elephant had succeeded in wrapping it around its trunk. It was obvious that the animal was uncomfortable, and it was probably unable to utilize its trunk in the slightest, especially not the area beneath the wire. The rangers moved quickly and started cutting the wire. Before carefully extracting the wire that was embedded in the trunk, they applied iodine to the wound. The wire was tightly twisted around the trunk, so it took the rangers a long time to pull it out. In the event that the rangers erred, they may have caused more harm than good to the appendage. In addition, In case the other members of the herd attempted to assault and reintegrate the newborn into the herd, the rangers had to be vigilant for them. However, the rangers were able to remove the wire after a short period. After it was removed, they took sure to apply a long-lasting antibiotic ointment to the incision to prevent infection and septic shock. After emptying the trunk, the last stage was sewing it back together. The vets had to be precise to ensure that the trunk was reassembled correctly, which made this surgery equally as challenging as removing the wire. The veterinary professionals successfully reattached the trunk after a 3-hour ordeal. Since it was highly improbable that they would be able to capture the elephant again to remove a different kind of stitch, they utilized dissolvable sutures in the trunk. For a few weeks, the sutures would remain in the trunk, providing sufficient time for the appendage to heal and regenerate before the tissue falls out. The elephant remained heavily sedated after the procedure. Upon realizing that the elephant would want some assistance to become alert once more, the veterinarian administered an adrenaline injection. The purpose of this injection is to reawaken and activate the animal's neurological and adrenal systems. Since the veterinarian knows just how much to feed the elephant, it doesn't hurt them. Following the treatment, the young elephant quickly returned to the herd, where it was warmly received. The rangers wanted to make sure the youngster was recuperating well, so they watched the elephant herd closely for the following 2 weeks. The animals were always on the move, seeking food, so it was difficult to keep an eye on them. Fortunately, the elephants were drawn to the watering hole since it was a substantial and reliable supply of water. The rangers would see glimpses of the herd near the body of water. Fortunately, the ranger who had found the wounded young elephant a few weeks later stumbled across the group once more. He was able to identify the baby animal and observed that it was recovering fairly well in its trunk. The incision had healed adequately since the sutures had come out, and the area had scabbed over. Knowing that it would only take a few more weeks for the wound to fully heal, the ranger grinned. Furthermore, he saw that the elephant was able to use its trunk in a fairly typical manner. The ranger had been concerned since they weren't sure if the elephant would regain full use of the appendage. Fortunately, it appeared to be mending, meaning the infant will be able to develop normally and use its trunk for all its intended purposes. The rangers left the herd alone so they could resume their way of life in the wild after determining that everyone was well. What a fantastic tale! It's always comforting to know that there are wonderful people in the world that will stop at nothing to care for and defend the defenseless creatures that inhabit our planet. Please share your thoughts on the video in the comments section below. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.